Printing's a funny game, you don't get many days off. We usually have Tuesday morning off, or most of Tuesday, that's our Bloods Day. We pay all the bills and work out the sales tax and muck around and clean up and occasionally plan some big job we've got in, but today we take it easy. The commercial printing side of a newspaper is definitely the bread and butter. But must bring in more than half the income, and if we could pick that side of it up, well, you know, naturally we're going to do better.
Hello, Standard.
Photography is one of my hobbies, that's why I've got so many cameras kicking around. I do a lot of weddings, especially in other towns. I'll never do them locally because of profit in his own town, you know the old story. I like photographing people. If I photograph a wedding, of course there's a few quid in it, that's what I like too. But I've been promising for years to take some more still photographs for competitions, the local show, but I just haven't had time to do them lately. The most important organisation in our community is the local Shire Council because it controls the whole community and everybody's involved in it, and it's worth over $1 million a year anyhow.
Jesus Christ, our Lord.
Amen.
Are there any apologies?
One apology, Mr. Shire President, Councillor Morazy.
Every now and then I write an editorial that seems to upset somebody. I had a run-in with the councillors one day. They bought a new Mercedes truck the week after they said that they couldn't afford to buy anything. The estimates were crook, and I did my editorial, and next council meeting I got barrelled by 2 or 3 councillors, but then another couple come over to help me out, so that was fair enough. But this happens all the time, and that's part of the job. If they weren't saying things or I wasn't running in with some people, well, I wouldn't be doing my job.
And I refer, of course, to Councillor Harrison. As President of the Council, I'd like to express to Councillor Harrison our delight in his award.
Mr. President, it gives me great pleasure to second that resolution. I agree with everything that you've said there. Mr. Councillor Harrison is a councillor of very wide experience in so many ways over such a long period.
I believe that it'd be a disaster if we didn't have a newspaper in a town such as Boort. If we're going to have a progressive town and a town which is developing the way it is most necessary that we have a paper that understands the facts. Gary's a chap that is remarkable. We didn't know that how he'd get on when he took over his father's job. He just he sits down, he writes his leading article off the cuff, he tells me, and I think that it's a great achievement to be able to do that. It shows that he's got tremendous ability, and I think that his reporting and that has been very good indeed.
Come on, Fred. Oh, morning, Dick. Looks like it's going to be a warm one.
I always type straight out into the hot metal because it's the quickest way out. Otherwise I've got to write the story. Then I'd have the double problem of reading my handwriting and having to work it all out again. So it's easier just to put the notes on the keyboard and work from there. When I want to relax, I'll go and watch television until it goes off. Unfortunately, they don't put the test pattern on afterwards. I could watch that too. I like to watch television and read at the same time. That way I can kill 2 birds with one stone. I go for the occasional walk around the lake, not a jog, mind you, that's too much exercise, but I like to walk, and I'll go for a sail. 1978-79 harvest would have to be easily the biggest the district's ever known, wheat and barley especially. So I thought, well, it'd be a very good time to get out and let the people know just what the cockies have been doing for the district. After all, grain is still the backbone. There's a lot of wool, but grain is the backbone of the district. This would be the biggest harvest ever, wouldn't it?
Biggest since I've been in charge of Boort, yeah.
You're going to crack the 1 million bushels?
Yeah, no worries.
These days you hear so much of unemployment of the young people, and I think a lot of them really don't give a damn. If they can't get a job, they're prepared to take the dole. But we've got a case here of Kathy Byrne, who went to school. She trained as a fashion designer, but then found she couldn't get a job teaching without 2 years in the rag trade. Couldn't get a job apart from a machinist, so she decided to set up her own business, and I think she's going to go really well. And this sort of thing's a good story, not only for the local people, for everybody. They can see what an example can be set by a young girl. Now, sorry about that now. No, you have to move in close, Kathy. It counts for you too. You're part of the show, you know. Queen calls, Fred, I'm not home.
Well, Gary likes to spend a bit of time in the library, so we had to work out this set of signals to get him back into the office when we need him. We give a quick turn on the tap and it makes a horrible din down in the dummy.
What's the trouble, Fred?